They called it white gold. And back in '81, it was the single most influential thing shaping the country of Colombia. For better or for worse, well, that depends on your point of view. You see, the sheer scale of the operation made a whole lot of people a whole lot of money. We're talking more than $70 million a day at its height. And that's just what's attributed to this guy, El Patrón. But when that level of money is involved, violence is never far behind. Skip forward a few years to 1984, and it wasn't the violence that got America to sit up and take notice. Billions of dollars a year literally flying away from the US Treasury. Of course it was the money. For me though, it was about fulfilling my duty to my country, at least before all the patriotic bullshit wore off. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. My name is Steve Murphy, DEA, and this is where it all began.
Welcome to Colombia, agent. Welcome to a war. Information, evidence, and firepower are the tools for war. We need to use them all to defeat our enemies. The building ahead has been identified as Narcos safe house. Investigate the area and see what you can find. Passport, photos, travel documents, contact details. It looks like these guys are planning a delivery over the border. One of my men has eyes on some local criminals. Take this intel over to him and see if there's a match. Meet him at the mark area, but do not engage any targets until we have confirmation. ID confirmed. That's the piece of shit we're looking for. Let's take him in for questioning. He's unlikely to come quietly, so take him down if necessary. Better him than you.
¡Uy, hijueputas! ¡Narcos dados de baja!
Steve Murphy, DEA. And that there's my partner, Special Agent Peña. Believe it or not, he's pleased to see you. Unlike these guys, the Medellin Cartel. And public enemy number one, El Patrón. So where are we at? America's snorting coke like it's going out of fashion. The Medellin Cartel has increased productivity to make sure everyone gets a fair share of this nose candy. There are restrictions in place on the DEA overseas. So, game over, right? Wrong. You ever heard of search block? Of course you haven't. That's because we created it especially to target these bastards. Colonel Carrillo is one of the leaders. He hates the Narcos and wants to put them behind bars. He's dedicated. The Narcos have built themselves an army, but then so have we. And it's time to send them to work. Pick off those rats one by one until we've cleaned the country of vermin. Oh, word of warning, watch out for poison.
Welcome to Colombia, Agent. We're hoping your skills and experience will help us with our problem down here.
We suspect a drug cartel has been manufacturing cocaine and smuggling it out of the country. We need to get on top of things before we lose control.
You need to recruit some men and get them trained fast. I've allocated your department a budget. It's not much, but if you want more, I need to see some results.
All right, let's start turning over some stones. See what bugs we find. We need to move fast if we're gonna make a dent down here.
Our first big success. Drugs seized, men arrested, intel gathered. This has turned some heads upstairs. We need to press home our advantage.
This is good news. The higher our approval rating, better leads we get from those nerds in the intel department.
And more money means more manpower and better training. We have new recruits already waiting to sign up.
We've got news of a meeting downtown. This is solid intel on big players in the area. Check it out.
The bean counters won't sign off any more budget until we've hooked a biggie. Let's get down there and bring them in for questioning.
You need to wake up and smell the coca, Agent. These guys would rather take a bullet than talk to a gringo like you. Don't expect a friendly greeting.
They say that there's nothing more dangerous than a woman scorned. I can go with that, to a certain degree. But I reckon there's nothing more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose. You'll find a lot of those in downtown Medellin, where life is hard and death comes easy. The Narcos know this too, which is why they'd rather stash their secrets on a man with a gun than in a safety deposit box instead. We need to find these guys. They'll be armed, they'll be twitchy, and they won't be alone. Let's take them down and reap the rewards. Put a bullet in them if you have to, because they'll be carrying intel on high-profile targets we've been gunning for quite some time. If we find anything else in the process, let's consider that a bonus.
Agent, you just have been introduced to El Patrón, as he's known to his followers, and his right-hand man, Primo.
This is the first time we've made a positive link between them and narco-trafficking.
This is impressive work, gentlemen. I advise you to expand your operation. Seems it's not true what they say about roaches being great survivors. A chemist named Cockroach has just shown up dead, along with a number of local officers.
Corrupt perros, more like selling protection to the highest bidder. They're not worthy of the uniform they wear.
One of your officers got away and called in backup. I want your team to check it out.
What the? This location is way out in the jungle. They must have a hidden lab out there.
Most of our work is done on the battlefield. Sometimes it's on the streets of Medellin. Sometimes it's in the comunas. And sometimes, like today, it's in the jungle. Instead of fighting the head of the beast, we're going for the heart. The cocaine paste labs. We need to send a message to the Narcos that we know where they are and that we will not stop. There are multiple labs to destroy, but as well as being heavily protected, these places are also death traps. Because where you find cocaine manufacture, you find gasoline. Lots of it. So we have to tread lightly and keep our eyes peeled for sicarios. Fucking these places over won't put much of a dent in their operations, but it'll at least get inside their heads. Our best chance of beating these assholes is in the battlefield of the mind, right?
Well-executed operation, agents. We got some decent intel on the whereabouts of El Patrón. It's sketchy in places, but it has generated some interesting leads.
Well, let's get back out there and fill in the blanks.
My men have tracked El Patron's locations to one of his mansions up in the hills.
Good work, agents. Get up there and bring him in.
Welcome to the Dragon's Lair, the Hacienda Nopolis, El Patron's dream home. If he's gonna be anywhere, it'll be here. The rumor is he's about to hotfoot it because we're sniffing around, too close for comfort. So we'll have to act fast. We'll have to break in by any means necessary. And then try to find something that connects El Patron to trafficking, murder, hell, anything. But be careful. If his sicarios are still around, they'll be burning evidence and making sure nobody gets in their way. If we go in noisy, be ready for a noisy reception. If El Patron is around, so much the better. But if we're not careful, he'll be out of that place faster than grease through a goose. He has multiple escape routes, road, helipad, airstrip. So we need to be primed and alert, ready to take him down if he makes his move.
¡Hombres! ¡Mirad esto!
Corrupt bastards. Someone on the inside must be feeding information to El Patron. How else could he have effected an escape?
Take it easy. We ruffled his feathers. The guy has over 800 houses, but only one home. Anyway, we have some news on the whereabouts of El Patron's accountant. We tracked down El Patron's top accountant. This guy knows where all the money is. We get him, and then we know where all the money is.
We'd like to speak to El Patron's accountant about the drug money he's got squirreled away all over Colombia. We know he's holed up somewhere nearby. We were able to triangulate a call to this area, but the line went dead before we could pinpoint his whereabouts. That's where we come in. Several of El Patron's men have been identified in the vicinity. We need to shake them down for info until we find out where X marks the spot. Then we just have the little task of gaining entry to their nest of vipers. Resistance will be fierce. But if you find him, arrest the son of a bitch. Then it's a case of keeping him safe until we get to the extraction point. El Patron won't hesitate to give the order to ice the bastard if he knows we're taking him in to discuss his priceless treasure map.
El Patron doesn't seem to be a fan of the banking system. These maps show they have money squirreled away all over the country, behind false walls, in their homes, and even holes in the ground.
Let's search these locations and take a piece back to Uncle Sam. One of our surveillance guys just served up a nice gift. That piece of shit Poison was flapping his gums on the sat phone again. He's partying downtown.
Thank you for this, Agent. Let's pay him a visit. He's responsible for many of the deaths of my men. This time, I will be the one to pull the trigger.
Poison. If ever a nickname was chosen to suit its owner, this is the one. Although slimy, evil motherfucker would fit just right, too. Anyway, we have excellent intel that Poison will be out on the tiles looking for some fun tonight. Let's make sure he finds it. The guy loves to party. He can't help himself. Hopefully he'll be softened by booze and hookers. High on his own supply. It might mean he's sloppy. It might mean he makes a mistake. His men will be on point, however, so stay frosty. Word is he'll be in a busy nightclub, dark and noisy. Lots of distractions and plenty of cover. He'll be heavily guarded, and they'll be primed for trouble, so we've got to be on our game. Pick off the Sicarios one at a time to avoid a scene. We can't risk Poison being spooked and making a run for it. But those hitmen are unlikely to be on their own. Watch out for armed goons providing backup. When everyone is dead, find Poison ASAP. It's time to nail that bastard.
Reconociendo el objetivo.
¿Cómo se siente eso?
Lo tengo. Reconociendo el objetivo.
Well, that's one less piece of shit on the streets. You didn't think to bring him in for questioning?
I don't think he was in the mood for talking, Agent.
We have eyes on that crazy motherfucker El Mexicano. He's as paranoid as they come.
With good reason, Agent. It was one of his own men who brought us the information.
I don't like it. It stinks of a trap. Why would he sell out his boss like that? How do you know we can trust him?
I don't, Agent. But such opportunities do not present themselves often. Sometimes we must take risks to eliminate the opposition.
Meet El Mexicano, a man so obsessed with violence and power, he created his own army. This guy is balls out crazy, and nastier than a snake at high noon. The one good thing about that is he's unlikely to go running when he hears the sound of gunfire. You can bet your ass he'll come out to play. The drawback is there will be gunfire coming back at us. So when we pay him a visit at his villa, expect to draw out a lot of heat from his highly trained paramilitaries. We have to drop some of those men to lure him out. Be prepared for some surprises when he does make an appearance. El Mexicano has a lot of toys. Keep at him and don't lose focus. He might try to make a break for it if things aren't going his way. And listen, we've been trying to blow this clown away for years. This is our best chance to finish him. Let's not fuck this up.
esta manera.
¿Cómo se siente eso?
¿Te gusta eso?
Lo tengo. Reconociendo el objeto. Lo tengo.
Dado de baja.
We got the crazy bastard!
All the celebrations, Agent. Several of my men were captured during the operation. We need to find out where they've been taken. If we don't move fast, their fate will not be a pleasant one.
One of my informants knows the location of your men. He's willing to part with it, for a price.
Many thanks, Agent. We must formulate a rescue plan immediately.
Lateral damage. It's one of the unfortunate consequences of this drugs war. At some point, innocent people will get killed. A shootout at a bar, a shootout in the street, the adrenaline's hot, the bullets fly, aiming goes out the window. But sometimes, the innocent aren't that innocent. Who can tell? It's a gray area, and the DEA are only ever interested in black and white. Hostage situations are very much black and white, and we've got one. Simple job, rescue the hostages and kill the kidnappers. We'll need to find a way into the compound. There will be men dotted all over the place. Take them out before they can raise the alarm. When the hostages are located, we need to get them out fast. They're police officers, so they shouldn't need too much looking after. And mop up any stray guards.
Safe today, but some were not so fortunate. These fuckers will pay with their blood for this. It seems Primo has some indiscreet friends. And Sub-Zero His tell us he'll be enjoying some downtown at a local casino tonight.
This could be the break we need. He could lead us straight to El Patrón.
If he talks, but a few of my men would certainly appreciate the opportunity to try.
Get this. Primo, El Patron's right-hand man, is enjoying some R&R at a downtown casino. But he's a smart cookie, Primo. He knows this is where he's at his most vulnerable. So as well as having a bunch of armed heavies with him, he's made sure he's got plenty of exit strategies in place. We're gonna have to block his escape routes to be in with a chance of pinching this guy. Yeah, you heard that right. We want him arrested. He can do more harm for us if we take him alive. So feel free to use force, but don't shoot to kill. We'll need to position our units effectively so that he and his trigger-happy henchmen are contained. If he escapes, I'll get it in the neck from Noonan. I can do without that in my life right now. Let's keep it tight, and hopefully Primo will be in custody before the ice in his Manhattan is melted.
avanzando. Lo tengo. Reconociendo el objetivo.
Dado de baja.
Just got word that El Patrón has cut a deal. He's turned himself in to face some bullshit charges which will see him do minimum jail time.
That's bullshit. And the Justice Department is going along with it?
And that's not the best part, Agent. He's been held inside of a prison which he designed and built with his family nearby. And no cops within 2 kilometers.
At least if he's in this joke of a prison, he can't be in the thick of things. Might be possible to do some real damage while he's out of the picture.
We have a real situation here, gentlemen. We've uncovered intel suggesting El Patrón has been running his operation from inside the prison.
Why does this not surprise me?
The government have a special forces team ready to move in and transfer El Patrón to a more secure facility.
Something tells me you're not giving me the whole picture here.
Minister Sandoval entered the prison to negotiate a peaceful surrender, but he didn't come out. I want your team to lead the rescue.
You want the bad news first? Vice Minister of Justice Eduardo Sandoval has come over all virtuous and headed to El Patrón's operations headquarters. His prison at Envigado to negotiate. Surprise, surprise. El Patrón doesn't like to negotiate, but he's decided Sandoval is going to keep him company for a while. That didn't need a crystal ball, did it? So now we have to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Rescue Sandoval and find El Patrón. Problem is, this place is crawling with El Patrón's most loyal guards. They'd happily take a bullet for their boss. Maybe he's promised them a paradise of coke and hookers on the other side. Who knows? Fact is, we'll be up against the clock. Because once we storm the prison, El Patrón will only have escape on his mind. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is gonna be one tough mission. Oh, and the good news? There is no good news.
Reconociendo el objetivo.
¡Suena justicia! ¡El pantalón de manga! ¡Lo agarré!
Recargando.
Reconociendo.
Dado de baja.
Sandoval thought he could parlay with the devil. He went to see El Patrón and lock out a draw, thinking his powers of persuasion could defeat a man who had never known defeat in his life. Did Sandoval succeed? Was he allowed to walk free? What do you think? So now, as well as trying to take down El Patrón and his rat bastard allies, we had a rescue mission on our hands. The Special Forces were Colombia's version of our Navy SEALs. You didn't mess with these guys. The president understood that. That's why he sent them in to rescue his loyal servant and friend. And free him they did. Only problem was, under cover of all that confusion, El Patrón got clean away. There'd been an uneasy peace while he had been incarcerated in his own prison. Everyone was happy, except us. We wanted El Patrón so badly it hurt. We wanted the war back on. This was not over yet.